All right. Welcome to Ground Zero. This episode is going to be about strange things, giants, dragons, and the black ring, and the symbols that never left, and specifically Saturn and Saturn worship. I'd like to introduce our guest hosts today, Benjamin Rakow, Tony Bennett, and Lucas Jeffords. It's welcome to have you today. It's an honor to have you today.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Hello. Glad to be here.
Ben, how are you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful. You guys?
Doing great. Tony?
Great.
Tony, he's
Thank you.
always off into the corner, as always, into the bottom of the video. He's nestled right into his little closet. It's lovely to have you again. Welcome again. Ben, why don't you share a little bit about what happened to your computer just moments ago?
Oh, yeah. So I had to actually, my computer, when I was firing it up, I got a couple error codes, didn't recognize the camera. It shut down twice while I was trying to get in, shut down another time once we got in, and it's throwing error codes, and nothing is working on it at all. Have not had issues with it for over a year. Not a peep out of it. And then we come to do this episode. I did a bunch of research on Saturn worship on this, which it is, Saturn worship's tied not only to like BlackRock investors, all the way back to Mecca, and probably one of the very first religions. Saturday is called Saturn's Day. Our week is based off of Saturn. There is so much to get into that it's just kind of a little weird that all of a sudden when we're trying to get this up and running to just talk about some odd stuff, it shuts down.
That's nuts. I figured we should share that because there's very little coincidence when it comes to that. So NASA confirms perfect geometric hexagon on Saturn's North Pole, 20,000 miles wide. It's been there for 40 years, nothing like it anywhere else in the universe, and ancient civilizations were drawing that same six-sided symbol and connecting it to Saturn's thousands of years before telescopes. So how is that not the most insane unsolved mysteries on Earth? Let's dig into it.
Yeah, let's look at it. They say that Saturn is the oldest or farthest planet visible to the human eye. And that it's like what, on a 29, I don't remember. I didn't look here. 29 year cycle. Let's make sure I'm right there. Yeah, 29 orbital cycle. Since it's the oldest and the furthest away, yeah, there you go. It is considered to be, of all the celestial bodies, to be the grandest. It is the slowest and the most powerful of all of it. And I always thought it was interesting that all the planets have personalities and deities tied to them. So obviously, way back when the all these different civilizations were doing and beginning to do Saturn worship, they didn't have telescopes. They didn't understand what it looked like at that distance. So it's curious to me, how did they know the symbols that were there? The six-sided star. When you look at it, it also relates the storm to a cube, the black cube, which is found everywhere. But before we get too far,
you say the black cube. You say
the black cube.
That sounds familiar. I've heard that before. There is an occult called the Black Cube. They worship a black cube. Can I do a little reference and make a little connection there?
Go.
The Black Cube. Does anybody know where the main reference of worship is for the Islamic faith? Anyone?
It's a trick.
500 points for the winner.
Mecca.
He got it. Ben got it. Ben has heard of Mecca. Thank goodness. Does anybody know what is in the middle of their main worship area in Mecca?
Could it be a black cube? A black cube?
A black cube for 20,000 points, where you're playing the game where the points don't matter. The Black Cube. It's known as the Kaaba, and it is also known.
What's attached to it?
Now, isn't there a black stone connected to it? The Kaaba stone, where people were able to actually speak with angels before it was painted over.
Interesting that the circular march around it never stops, like the Saturn rings.
Whoa. I've never
They
connected
always
those
go
two
around it.
together, but in Mecca, just so we can break this open a little bit, in the Islamic faith during Ramadan, because I do have family that is part of that, so I do have a little bit of understanding in it. They go and they worship the Kaaba. It is a shrine that Abraham built with Ishmael, and there is a stone that was given by Jabriel, and they used it. It was a philosopher's stone. Okay. The indigenous group before Islam, they worshipped rocks, right? And this rock was very specific. Now, in the Jewish religion, we understand that Abraham is the patriarch, and he had a son before he had Isaac. He had Ishmael, and they were sent out into the desert. Now, the Hebrew Bible doesn't say too much about specifics, but apparently Ishmael went out with his mother, obviously, and they created a nation of the Arabics, right? And which eventually became Muslim, but it wasn't Muslim first, right? So they had to worship something. So there was a story of Jabriel that came down and gave them the stone, right? And the stone was able to communicate with angels. Well, apparently something had happened to the stone and had broken, right? And Muhammad came and he worked with the different tribes and came to a decision with them all that said, if you all take a piece of the cloth and we place the stone in the middle, you all can help put the stone back onto the Kaaba, right? And so he became a great unifier in that sense, and they made him like a chieftain of that. Well, he started getting rid of all the other gods, and he was like, it's only going to be one God, and they kicked him out. And then he came back and took over the whole place in a violent siege. Well, the whole thing was based on rock worship originally, and that's what comes down exactly to what we're speaking about now with this hexagon shape that's at the top of Saturn, apparently. And apparently this has something specific, and it is tied to the occult. Do we know about this at all, and why Saturn is specific in the occult worship?
Well, I don't know. I think we should go back to some of the first civilizations to look at it. Before the gods had names, in the river valleys of Mesopotamia, the Sumerians, who we've talked about before, the Akkadians, and the Babylonians, all looked at Saturn as the slowest, closest, coldest, and furthest. So in their minds, this was the most powerful, which is interesting because all the stars in the sky, right, would stay locked in except for a few planets would move. But the supreme deity of the Canaanite pantheon depicted as an old, here, I love this tie-in, as an old man with bull horns. The same imagery later becomes Moloch, and eventually becomes the Christian, the Christian devil.
And that's where you see
is El, which his celestial body is Saturn. There's it. So and so you would see that in a three-dimensional shape becomes a black cube, but as well as there's a six-pointed star that fits in there.
Six-pointed star? Where do you see six-pointed stars besides pentagrams? That's a 5-star, right? Pentagon?
Yeah.
So what's the sixth star? Where do you see that normally? Anyone?
That's the Star of Remphan. It's known as the Star. Yep.
You're talking
known
about
as the Star of David.
Oh, you're talking about the Star of David. Okay, I've heard of that.
Yep. That's the six-pointed star.
So people make correlations between Saturn worship and Judaism?
Of course, because there's a... Go ahead, Lucas.
I saw a TikTok that was like, it was very about what's going on with Israel and things like that. And the caption said Saturn completes its rotation around the sun in, I think, like 2037 or something. So I'm guessing that there is a common connection between the two.
There is
met the two.
Yeah, and so they also God rebukes Israel for their star worship, picking up their star and worshiping Saturn.
And now, where is this at specifically? Where does he do that? And that's obviously in Genesis, right?
In Amos 5:26, Stephen actually quotes it when he's given his retort to the Pharisees. In Acts 7:43. So that's New Testament and Old Testament. But Moloch, let's see. Real quick though, there is a section of a sect a specific group that follows the Levitical laws, that there's a group of Jewish people who put a black cube on their hand and then wrap their arm 7 times, and they also put
That's
a black
there's a
cube on
black
their
cube
forehead.
on their hand? That's
And
what
on the
that is?
forehead.
What
on
what
their
is that
hand
thing? What is
and
that?
the forehead.
I don't even know what that is.
It has I believe it has, oh, there's a cat here. Let's go. I believe it has like the 10 Commandments in it, or some of the Levitical laws in it, which would be very interesting if you could pull up pictures of that. Yeah. Yeah, the 29-year Saturn circle. Yeah, it's going to be done.
In
Amos
2037?
5:26. Yep.
The heck? What is that? I wonder what that even has to do with something.
And I literally just saw that like 2 hours ago.
Real? Okay, there's no coincidences, folks. All right, the black boxes worn by Jewish men during weekday morning prayers are called the Tefillin. Tefillin? That can't be right. Tefillin.
Yes.
Isn't Tefillin like
for sure?
Isn't Tefillin like plastic?
Wrist, they wrap it.
That's Teflon.
Isn't Teflon? It's close. It's close. I thought it was plastic they were wrapping anyway. I did not know this. Please forgive me. They are leather boxes.
What that was too. I never understood it, and so now this is fascinating to learn this, because I always was like,
yeah, it is.
They're leather boxes
with
containing
Torah
parchment
verses.
scrolls with Torah verses strapped to the head and the arm to symbolize dedication of the heart, the mind, and the actions. It's called Tefillin or phylacteries. That can't be right. I think I butchered that hardcore. Phylacteries? Let's see this. Okay, look at this. Whoa. Holy guys, come on.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy, bro. What are we doing?
The star. Yeah, it's got the star on it.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I've got my lineage is Sephardic and Ashkenazi Jew, guys. And one of my mentors is a very strong Hebrew man, and he would say certain things. He would say, hey, this is good for the Jews, right? And then he would look at things and he would say, this is bad for the Jews. And the connection of rock worship and Cabal worship and hexagonal worship, this is looking really, I don't know. I just want to know more about it. You know what I mean? Because I just don't know. Well, and so I don't want to feel like I'm saying like ignorant stuff. I just don't know. So let's go dive back into the God thing that you were talking about, because I think that's going to lead us into where this comes from.
And the other thing too is when you see a lot of how do you say it, magic, a lot of it's all written in Hebrew language. There's a lot of Hebrew symbolism in all the schematics of doing ancient magic. So
tell me if this looks familiar, guys. Do you see this?
There you go. There it is. Have you seen the inside of it? It's like cinder blocks.
It's like so simple. But have you seen this? Like you see this, like, right? But then you look at this. Any connection there?
So
any connection? It's almost like it's a mini
Abraham.
It's like a mini. Oh, do you hear that? Something's going on.
Yeah, what's happening
Is that
there?
Luke? What happened, Luke? You just started getting really loud. We're hearing something on your mic. It's getting really loud on yours. Okay, in Jesus' name, we're going to pray real quick. Jesus, Lord, just help us, protect us. We rebuke any sort of negativeness. What just happened, dude? Luke just disconnected.
Whoa. Jesus, Lord.
Luckily, guys, don't worry. Luke is in the other room right next to me, so I could check on him. Don't worry. But this got a little crazy, bro. What is going on? We got like a weird little episode going right now. Oh, he's coming back.
All right. So, okay. So let's do this real quick.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The talisman.
I had to reset it because I couldn't see. Your screen recording.
All right. The history and practice of
back
magic. Ooh. The history and practice of magic identifies the hexagram, or the talisman of Saturn, and the seal of Solomon, both names for the same 6-pointed star used to conjure spirits, command elemental forces. Solomon is said to have adopted this symbol after marrying Pharaoh's daughter and turning to witchcraft. built altars to Moloch and Ashroth, and the star Solomon's power was the talisman of Saturn.
Whoa, so this is in where? Where are you reading this? You made this, or you did research on it, or is this not scripture, right? Obviously.
Yeah. No, 1 Kings 11, 5-7 talks about how Solomon did build those, and I've got the books if you want me to grab them.
Can we read that real quick? Just can we find that? What was it again? Kings?
Yes. 1 Kings 11, 5-7, where Solomon built the altars to Moloch and Ashroth.
So wait, Solomon built altars?
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes. What's going on there, man? Okay.
Well, he also did human breeding experiments.
Does this sound like Nathan Reynolds stuff? I think it does. Nathan, we need to get you out here, man.
We need you, Nathan.
So
we'd love to have you, brother. 1
Kings 11, 5-7, he followed Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and Moloch, the detestable god of the Ammonites. And so Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He did not follow the Lord completely as David, his father, had done. On a hill east of Jerusalem, Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the detestable god of Moab, and for Moloch, the detestable god of Ammonites. So you know what they were doing? They were killing kids, because Moloch, he loves kids. Loves to eat them.
Yeah, they've actually found archaeology sites with the altars and the children's bones in them.
That's disgusting. But it doesn't surprise me, too, because that kind of stuff happened like a lot. How do you feel about this, Luke, being a 15-year-old? How would you feel about being sacrificed to a bull god because your parents were like, it's got to happen. We need strawberries next year, boo.
I think it's disgusting. Dude. I think it's a, weird thing to do. And definitely something that people shouldn't be doing today, and should be left in the past. But unfortunately, it's very it's something that's still around, that's being resurfaced, I guess.
It's scary. That is a scary part.
Isn't that weird? Well, Moloch,
there's
Moloch, Baal-Hamon, El, Remphan, Kaivan. These are all names across different cultures for the same deity, all across Saturn, all condemned in the Old Testament and all connected to child sacrifice. And this isn't a coincidence. That's a pattern.
Look at
so what is the pattern pointing at?
Look at Bohemian Grove. They do a mock effigy child sacrifice. It is literally
to an owl.
To an owl god, Moloch. Right? Which is Moloch,
yep.
Right? And so Alex Jones, right? That's where he kind of got his fame initially. Obviously, he was a lot of stuff he's done, but sneaking in, right? Getting footage of the actual cremation of care, and being able to show the craziness of how they literally burn a child in effigy to the owl god to cleanse the sins of the world away every year.
So to touch on that too, the Bohemian Grove, the annual gathering of the American power elites, presidents, CEOs, generals, and media figures in a California redwood, includes a ceremony called the Cremation of Care, in which a symbolic effigy is burned before a 40-foot stone owl.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
The owl is associated with Moloch in some traditions and with Minerva, connected to Saturn's lineage.
Add on to that?
Yeah,
Does anybody know, for extra points, what is Drake's main logo that he's connected to? Anyone?
Owl.
The owl.
Okay.
Moving on. the other thing too is so the side shift on that wayside, there's recordings of people who get abducted. Okay.
Like UFOs.
Get abducted.
Or by like human traffickers.
No, not necessarily UFOs, but creatures that come in and take them. They speak Sumerian, and every time the person remembers seeing an owl outside of their window or house,
my gosh,
watching them.
I'm not gonna lie. Hold on a second. You just saying that freaks me out. Okay, Luke, you know the specific person that I'm talking about. What's up, man? We're not gonna say any names, but very prevalent in our life for a long time, but he specifically would have these weird things where at night, even his wife would say this, that weird nights would happen where she fell asleep first, right? And that never happened, and she would just be dead asleep. And then all of a sudden, weird stuff would happen that night, right? And he wouldn't remember what exactly was happening. I'm getting goosebumps from talking about it. He wouldn't exactly remember what's happening, but he remembers this white owl. Like and it makes him deathly afraid. It's like that one movie with what's her name? Mila Jovovich, I believe. I think it's The Fourth Kind, I think is the name of the movie. I think they're in Alaska and something, like some weird, crazy experiences. And there's something about a white owl there.
Actual footage.
And so it freaks him out. And I totally believe him because, yes, he may be a little bit of a goofy guy, but when it comes to that specific thing, like when they're both on par, there is something with the owl thing and abductions. And this has happened to him multiple times throughout his life, almost like they come in to check in to see how the specimen is going. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
So Tony, is he cutting out for you?
Yeah, he's cutting out.
He's like skipping all over the place for me.
Right?
Yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked. That whole time you were cooked. You stuttered through that. You stopped. Your camera got blurry.
No,
it looked so beautiful when I said it. I hope that it recorded it perfectly. Okay.
It was cutting out. Did you hear me again?
Crazy. Can you hear me now? Am I still cutting in and out, or what? Am I good now? Okay, so we'll say it again. Did you hear anything I said at all?
So you cut off kind of like
a little bit.
Fourth kind. Talk about the fourth kind.
Okay, so the fourth kind. So yeah, he would have these encounters where apparently he would feel like he was abducted, and he was in some really heavy lighted situation, top lit, and the whole idea was that they probably made a deal to get him when he was younger. And so they've come and seen him multiple times throughout his life to almost like check and see, how's the specimen doing? That's the idea. And I can't say I've ever seen it. I don't know, but I'll tell you that it's a very close friend, and I don't think he would lie about it. And his wife, it's a very specific, scary kind of weird thing that had happened.
Never even knew that story. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Didn't want to scare you
Talking
guys.
about abductions, my girlfriend's mom had an abduction experience. So I really want to know, because I feel like a lot of that has to do with, demonic experiences, right? And so that's why a lot of these people have very simple, like you said, the blinding white light, only like, what we were talking about this, what is this collective? There's no such thing as these people just all collectively having mass hallucination and it just being the same thing. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think there's a couple levels to that. It's like, I think some people would say if you get a bunch of people on the same drug and then you kind of have somebody who's really good at manipulating things, you could get a lot of people to kind of see and think the same thing. But I agree. I don't think you can do that on a huge, massive level. It's at one point, like Ben, at one point you're going to know, you're going to see things outside of the realm of your sight. And they're going to look like things that you only thought you saw in movies. Now, look, you talked about the Bohemian Grove ceremony, and I thought this was a nice way to kind of talk a little bit about, I don't want to segue fully into secret societies, but a little bit of that aspect of the occult. So the Bohemian ceremony is filmed. It exists. Multiple sitting presidents attended. They burn an effigy, like you said, in front of a 40-foot stone owl. And at what point do we stop calling that a quirky tradition and start asking, what is this actually? Ben, what do you think? What can you say is really going on at these Bohemian Grove type situations? And do you think they're still happening?
Oh, yeah. They've been going on for thousands of years. They're not going to stop anytime soon. I'm sure they're still going on. And I'm sure it's not what we could even imagine going on there. Like, again, like just on the surface, right? We've talked about our struggles not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. These are the same deities that have existed through all time, that have demanded sacrifices of children as well as worship. And they're always led by who? By people who run the countries. Solomon led the lead into building these effigies and worshiping Moloch. It wasn't like a group of like random people. And again, we see the leaders of the countries and the businesses doing the same thing. So I think there is some site, although we call it secret, they're not secret. We know they exist, but there is some type of ritual that actually has value to it and substance to it, that these people continue to do it each year. And they continue to be presidents, CEOs, people in power, people of influence, people who steer the masses.
Now, question.
So
the seal of Solomon is the ring that commanded demons, right? It's a hexagram, and the hexagram contains a hexagon in its center. Saturn is a hexagon on its pole, right? So if Solomon's power came from a ring that encoded the geometry of the distant planet, what exactly is he channeling?
That's a great question.
Why does Saturn sound so
forces?
close to the evil one?
I don't know, but that's a good question. Saturn, Satan, that, like they said again, that the view of Saturn sifted into a, there is all kinds of lore about a bull-horned person that shifted into our devil view that we have today.
So let me ask, because the planets are all connected to like Greek gods as well, right? And so when I looked this up, Kronos is actually the one that correlates to Saturn. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Kronos is the original? He's Zeus's father, but didn't Zeus overthrow Kronos and he's like cast away, or he's like chained up or something? I don't remember fully what.
Kronos is one of the Titans, right? Kronos is time.
Yeah, he's the original Titan, right? And he was overthrown by Zeus, and I think they threw him into a pit to be locked away or something. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the lore. I played a God of War a couple times. That was about it. That was my.
Kronos eats his own children because he's afraid of one of them will replace him. And the esoteric reading of that myth is that Saturn, as the Lord of Time, literally devours everything. Every human life gets consumed by time. Is that a myth? Or is that just an honest description of reality?
Have you looked at that painting? That there's a guy who made a painting of Saturn devouring his children. It's listed. It's listed. Yeah, it's listed in here. Rabbit Trail. Goya's painting, Saturn devouring his children.
Goya is so interesting. Goya is such an interesting painter in just general. Have you seen any of his stuff? It's very dark stuff. Now, look, I've got a very interesting picture for you myself. Now, I want you to see, just take a look at this and tell me what this screams to you in some way.
Oh, yeah, The Last Supper.
Mm.
What's on Jim Carrey's shirt?
Saturn.
Now, what's going on there? And this guy right here.
That. Oh, that's Seth Green. He's no good. He's no good.
No good.
Good.
Next to our boy,
Adam
who
Sandler.
we talked about, right?
He's cool.
Now, what about Jim Carrey, though? What is he wearing? What is he doing? Are they trolling? Or what is going on here?
Jim Carrey was always trolling.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey was always outing everybody and everything. Love it. Love it. Love those two together.
What's going on here, though? Because I thought we heard that Seth Green was a notorious you-know-what.
Yeah. I get the weird... Is that Jimmy Kimmel in the back?
Did we lose Ben? Look we lost Ben. Dude, this is the craziest episode lately.
What do you mean?
Ben,
I'm right here.
There?
Where did I go?
He's right there.
Yeah.
Didn't he freeze, guys? Dude, and I was having trouble even keeping this website up. It's just consistently moving back and forth. So, okay. So what's the inside here? You said, Ben, because you cut off. And Tony just disappeared. Look at Tony. Tony's just like, I'm out.
Okay. I want you guys to notice something. I want you guys to look at something. Only 3 guys in this whole photo have T-shirts that have anything on them. Everybody else's is black.
You're right.
Or gray. There's nothing on anybody else.
Oh, or yeah. What's that about? So hold on.
So we know that
Mickey Mouse.
We know Disney
It's Mickey Mouse
was
doing
early
something
tied
weird.
in with the NASA with the NASA program. We know they were part of that.
What? Wait. You can't just throw stuff out there like that. We know. You know. What? Tell us. Update this. Wait. Disney was connected to the NASA program? I never heard that. Anybody else?
In the early beginning. Yeah, in the early beginnings, NASA and Walt Disney, they're all part of the same system. They talked with them. In fact, Disney did a bunch of like space design like in the 60s. I have a book my dad collected, and the book, the cover and the inside and the outside cover is Walt Disney and all their space drawings of going to different planets and pitching this idea of space travel and all that. And then you got Saturn.
Okay, so Disney's connected. Okay, but then what's up with Sandler's shirt?
I just think Sandler's a good guy.
Yeah,
it's just
Sandler's
Sandler.
He's wearing a
Sandler's
shirt. Well,
just a
come
good
on.
old
Think
boy.
about this though. They're the only three people with colored shirts and
because
anything on.
He's
Everybody
not
else
in
has
the crew. That's the point.
And look, he's
right?
the only one too wearing like super like outrageous color too, like green.
Yeah, but
and
he's
a hoodie.
He's wearing what he would normally wear. He'd wear a hoodie.
Okay, so then what's going on here then?
Well, he's outing some people.
Is that what's going
also
on?
interesting?
These two are like the crazy outers. Why are they next to him then? What is going on with him? Is he like a part of it because he's secretly like a survivor? I've heard that he has a lot of things going on. You don't know who he is?
That's Seth Green.
You don't know who that is. You've never heard of Scott Evil.
Family Guy, Chris Griffin.
Oh yeah, Family Guy. Who else is in this picture?
Please, Ben, can you give us a little bit on this guy?
Howie Mandel.
There's Kevin.
Howie Mandel back there in the sunglasses.
Jimmy
Bill
Kimmel?
Burr.
No good.
Bill Burr, top right. Jimmy Kimmel, straight in the middle. David Spade, right next to Kimmel. You got the guy who played in Rob Reiner's that one famous movie. And he was also in Saw. He cut his own arm off. Then you got Ben Schwartz, who plays Sonic in the big Sonic movie. I don't know who the guy is right next to Ben.
I forget the guy in the middle, too.
And then you got Jeff Ross right in the middle. Jeff Ross.
Yeah,
Jeff Ross.
That's who it was. Yeah, I was like, that's what it was.
Yeah. And then I don't know who this guy, this little guy is. I don't know who that is. And I thought that was Howie Mandel, but that's Howie Mandel.
No, that's
so I don't know who that is.
So
that's Craig Robinson.
Question.
That's one of Joe Rogan's guys.
And look at the room. It's just the weirdest room. Where the hell are they? The Ivy?
Who's the guy? What's his Jim Carrey? What's on the table in front of Jim Carrey?
Soda.
Nothing.
Paper?
Is that a menu or piece of paper? Can you zoom in on that at all?
Paper or something?
Enhance.
Not really. No, I mean,
that's probably just a bar menu.
Q. Enhance. Yeah.
Enhance.
Okay, so what's in front of him?
I don't know. I was looking at that piece of paper.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think there's another piece of paper over here too. It's like
probably just a bar menu.
You got David Spade hiding in the back. He's like, don't forget, I'm back here. I don't know, but it was for Jim Carrey's birthday. I'm not sure where. I bet you if we
remember seeing some posts about this a couple years ago.
Yeah, but then it's like hard because it's like you have a bunch of your friends of friends, and so it's like, I'm like, a friend invite me to a birthday.
It was his going away party.
The weird thing is that he's wearing the shirt, guys. What is going on? And then Seth Green, please, Ben, can you take a moment to tell us a little bit about Seth Green? Please.
I don't know anything about Seth Green. I'll put it on my list.
Please do your research and also look into I'll send you some stuff offline, some stories of his.
Because I feel like he might have actually been abused too. Because check this out. I heard this story from him recently. It just kind of popped up. Was that he was, as a kid, he was on a movie with what's his name? Bill Murray. Okay. And something happened on set and he was sitting in Bill Murray's chair. And he was like challenging Bill Murray or something for the seat or something. I don't know what happened, but Bill Murray called him out on it. He picked him up by his ankle and he hovered him over the trash can, right? And then Seth Green apparently like punched Bill Murray in the nuts, and Bill Murray dropped him in the trash can. And so then Seth Green like ran away and like hid under a like a makeup table and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. This is horrible." That is his rendition of what happened. To me, that sounds like like if somebody were to be like outwardly, be like, that sounds like a child who got abused by an adult on set that had no business grabbing him by his ankle, holding him over a trash can.
That sounds like it would be a scene in a movie.
I'm just saying there's more to it than just like he's a grown predator. There could be things that, and I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying these are allegations that have happened, especially from a gentleman who I don't even want to say his name because of how treacherous things that happened to him. He was outing a bunch of people, and he ended up dead off of a bridge in the desert.
Oh, Isaac Happy. You're talking.
I was literally just going to bring his name. Thanks, Tony. Tony's literally not making. He's not even listening. He's just looking at his phone, and then he just pops up every 5 minutes. I know that guy. Yeah. Anyway, he ends up dead of a suicide, and then weirdly enough, around the same time, a Mr. T. Hanks has a weird picture pop up of like he's around on the desert and like taking pictures in that area of weird stuff on the ground. It's very weird. It's the connections that he's making, and he also is naming some of these really high end top people that are connected to this. So let me bring this full down. Okay, so full circle. The worship of Saturn, is it connected to child sacrifice somehow? And why?
Oh, 100%. It goes back to Moloch, doesn't it? I mean, we had the connection where Saturn worship, the deity of Saturn was connected with Moloch, which was always connected with child sacrifice. But why?
Why? What I had heard recently on a confessionals podcast on somebody who was as a guest, they had said that it's the currency. Like the way that people who want power in like the dark magic world here, the occult, they do these violent things to children and whatnot, and the eating and stuff like that. Like seriously, that's like the hardest, craziest stuff. It's like sexual abuse and then like eating. That's nuts. So apparently they do it because it shows in a different dimension their loyalty. Right? Because maybe these things, right? We talked about the Watchers, how the Watchers, there's an idea that these Watchers they're not demons. They're connected to Nephilim. Jeez, calm down, buddy. They're connected to Nephilim, and they're disembodied spirits that are trying to find some sort of vessel to be in so that they don't, look, when Jesus was talking about casting these demons out of this man, they begged him to go into pigs because they were scared of being thrown into oblivion, I guess was the case. So they're consistently trying to find bodies to inhabit. And apparently they get something off of the child and being tortured and people in general getting tortured too. It's not just like only children. Like they don't mind tagging onto that energy of anybody getting tortured, right? Which is why war on this level is said to cause a lot of energy, energy harvesting, right? From like the large amounts of death that's happening in certain things, right? In certain areas. Now, the idea that this is connected to somehow through Saturn, what is that connection? You know what I mean? Like, why is Saturn so prevalent and we never even noticed it?
Well, there's one little theory too that Saturn is able to create an alternate reality for us and around us. And it deceives men. And oddly enough, you got the Xbox, which came out as a black cube, and that just distracted you into an alternate reality.
They're all black cubes pretty
quick.
much, right? PlayStation's the GameCube is a GameCube, like the
the PlayStation like alters. It's mostly gray, and then now it's white, almost alienistic looking.
Yeah, I'm looking at my PlayStation right now. It's awesome. Love it. So my dad, towards the end of his life, had to have some medical procedures before he passed. In one of those times, and he was into all this stuff. He was into like everything we're talking about. He knew way more about the other side and the workings of stuff. I could tell you some stories, but when he encountered the Holy Spirit, he knew what was real. But he comes out of one of these surgeries, and after this particular event, he never went to the hospital again. He would never go back. And he said that he swears up and down that he was on Saturn. Up and down. I thought it was the wildest thing when he came out of his surgery. He believed he was on Saturn. And why? Why was that? Out of anything and everything that somebody says when they come out of surgery. And he was so scared. Like, I've never seen him scared like that. And he's like, I am never coming back here. And we never took him to the hospital again. And he stayed at home and passed comfortably in his bed.
You know, that's something interesting. I don't want to cut you off, but that brings me of a theory, because my buddy, he's in the Air Force, and so he was always like telling me, dude, you should join. Like, it'd be fun. You should do something cool. I'm like, the only thing I would join would be like Space Force, so I can be like going up into space. And I hear a bit of an echo. I don't know if that's just me.
I hear an echo too.
Of you though, right? Because you are, for some reason, something happened. You got really loud.
Did I get loud?
I could turn you down a little bit.
It's just coming from your. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going. What are you going to say?
What was I? I'm sorry. Now I'm like,
I don't know what the heck you're going to say. You're going to say something. All right, here, look, check this out.
I just heard a really bad echo.
You were talking about Space Force.
Oh, so I was like, they have a big. See, it is you, Joey.
What? Well, how could it be me though? Because I've had phones on.
Well, you're the only one unmuted.
You're too. Yeah. Well, so what happens is they end up asking you a question about if you've ever done DMT. Like, that's a very specific question that they ask you. And I remember at my buddy, because I was like, that's so weird. I was like, why? Like, what is it? Why is it DMT? And my girlfriend, like, I asked, because she has a past life too, and she's done DMT, and she's like, I can see that. And she's like, when you do that, you literally go to outer space. And so I was like, it like kind of like, I was like, took me aback for a second, because I was like, wait, what? I was like, and she's like, yeah, like you leave it, like you go to a different reality, like you go into an alternate place, you go into like that realm, right, in space. So I can get what you're saying, like when your guy was like, he was on a different planet, and that's what they do with these drugs, right? It alters them, it brings them consciously, like their spirit, to these realms, to these places, because it, dissolves everything that they have. But also, that's like, it's awesome, because it's like, that's one thing you cannot be in, because the guy was trying to lie, and obviously they know, they can tell if you're lying or not. He got up to the point, and then finally he was like, okay, I did it one time, kicked him out of the whole program. Not because he was lying, but it's also because they're so strict about that specific rule, doing DMT. But that's interesting to me. I wanted to get off tangent there.
Yeah.
The entities on the DMT side, you can get banned from that realm. You can do as much DMT as you want, and you'll never go back again.
Wait, what?
They'll ban you.
Wait, what? Talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Wait, what happens here? So let's get Luke up to speed. What we're talking about here? So Ben has an ability to see into the astral.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're talking about.
Oh, you want me to go into that?
Just a little,
just a segue into that. Nothing. I'm just able to perceive in other dimensions, the spirit realm, so to speak. Angels, demons. Had a incredible conversation with God this morning about what luck is. Phenomenal conversation. And so these guys have me look at different people from time to time. But as well as there is, when you jump into the realm of gods, like you can do it with permission, or you can use substances to jailbreak your way in and jump the fence. And if you don't have protection, if you don't have the right things going on, a lot of bad things will follow you home. Things will inhabit you. But with the DMT experiences and jumping into that level of consciousness, everybody talks about running into these different entities. Joey, I just sent you a TikTok on it. Like a bunch of guys were talking about it. Being banned from doing DMT, and one guy's talking about the machine elves wouldn't let him back, and like they know that they know, and they impart wisdom to him, and people just want to go hang out in
Where
this
did you
realm
send
and
this?
talk with just to your TikTok account.
Oh, it's TikTok. You need to send me links to my text
That's where
message,
I'm at.
and then I can pull them up.
I don't know. I'm on.
Go ahead, keep going.
Just where
It's
I'm
okay.
at. So I just hit the
I'll
button.
pull up TikTok.
So anyways, the guy just says in the TikTok, he's like, "Did you know you could get banned from that?" And he's also the same guy who's looking into the laser lights and seeing the matrix code for this simulation.
I've seen that. That is very crazy. That they have like this red laser
guy.
light, and they take DMT, and you can look and see the actual number code in like the building of matter. That's crazy. That's intense. Tony's laugh. I just want to make Tony's laugh like a sound effect.
I love it. But there really is a lot out there that we don't see. Like our human eye picks up less than I can safely say less than 10% of the information going on around us. Our eye doesn't see. We don't see infrared every time the phone scans our face.
Now, what about
we don't see
has anybody ever thought about how Moloch and Saturn is connected in the Bible? Like you had mentioned, Stephen, right before he gets stoned to death, accuses Israel of carrying Saturn worship out in Egypt. That's in Acts. That's in your Bible. Now, why does nobody talk about that?
Well, why would you? We gotta play it safe.
Saturn
Nobody
is
talks
mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Nobody thought about that. Like he mentioned Saturn.
Nobody wants to talk about because listen, we all throw up the star. We all throw up this, the Star of David. It's like, oh, this is Israel's, sign.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's like,
so you're saying
God.
Judo Christianity is causing an issue to not look at Saturn?
Sure.
Interesting.
We'll go that route.
Sweep it under the rug, like
that's a good. We don't even mention that part.
Because you know
part.
what? They're the chosen people, which is contrary to Scripture. Oh, not this one. The one before. Yeah, this guy talks about all the stuff and getting banned, but it was the one before this that I sent you. But this.
Oh, that's a 2-minute video.
Have permanently banned me from the DMT realm, and I honestly don't know what I did wrong. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything
just
wrong.
listen.
I was playing with some psychic energy objects.
He looks so distraught.
Psychedelic plants and shapes.
Can never go back.
Interacting with the bugmen. And apparently I did something, at some point I did something wrong, and the all-seeing infinite intelligence
I am
lit me up
Sauron.
like a light and said, "You are permanently banned. Get out." And I have tried now several times to go back.
He knows what he
I've
was
been
doing.
DMT
Don't
for a
lie.
long time. I'm a pro, okay?
I'm a
I
pro.
can't
I'm a pro.
get back there now. I take
He
it.
said that's what happens when
go
you
into
go
the
try to see
darkness,
Sydney Sweeney
I
in
see
the
the
spirit
doors,
realm.
I hear the
They
machine
get
elves, I can
banned.
sense the all-seeing intelligence, and then I just hear, "Fuck off. Fuck off." And then I wake up.
I don't know if that's
nothing-
God, dude.
That's because you're supposed to be here with the rest of us. he goes on to talk about how he normally spends hundreds of years in this space and
hundreds
he
of
can't get there
years
anymore. DMT is not affecting him, and this is a phenomenon that's happened even with researchers. And I know people that have been asked to not come back to these realms, and then when they do things like ayahuasca or DMT again, they don't experience any effect. And some people say, well, that's because you built a tolerance. And DMT is something that's well documented, that we don't build physical tolerance to. LSD, we build a tolerance to. Weed, we build a tolerance to. Alcohol, we build a tolerance to, not DMT. Now, I'm no expert. Based on the experience that I've been told about, we'll take this as it's real. And the lesson here is that we aren't meant to experience hundreds of years within a few minutes. We're here to experience a few minutes within a few minutes. That's why we have this body that is bound.
Hold on. Look,
Did you know that you can get banned
Did you see that? Did you see that, guys?
The machine elves
Hold on.
have
Can I pause
permanently
this? How do I
banned.
pause it? Look at this.
Machine
this
elves
comment
told me
right
to get it,
here.
Sean.
Yeah.
He looks so distraught. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, bro, stop spending hundreds of years in your head, dude. Get out here. Make a difference for Christ, man. I'm so distraught. All right, this one, was this the one?
Did you know?
That
Is
yeah.
Iran not going?
Not Iran.
Did you know that you can get banned from DMT?
Really?
Dude, you got to look this up.
Dude.
There are thousands of people out there who are using DMT recreationally, and the beings up there basically told them, "You are done, and you're banned from DMT," and the journey stops right there in that moment. And the guy can take hit after hit after hit after hit of DMT, and nothing happens.
Look at Derek's
banned
comment.
from that realm or whatever it is. I think they call it hyperspace now.
In the culture
Yes,
surrounding
I told
DMT,
you,
there was a
dude.
widely
He said
reported
time out.
anecdote
He said
phenomenon
time out,
called
bro.
being locked out of hyperspace.
Whoa.
Many
Told
frequent
you.
users report reaching a point where the drug simply stops working as expected, regardless of the dose.
They're like, we need to stop letting these crackheads into our
They
space.
won't let you in the
Yeah.
Space Force if you did. Like, I was like, why DMT? Like, it was blowing my mind. I'm like, I know DMT is out there, but now it makes sense. They're like, nope, sorry, just that one drug. You can do anything. They don't care about anything.
Yeah.
You can do,
Not the keyhole. Not the
Molly,
key drug.
You can do ecstasy. You can do coke. You can do. But hey, you've touched that DMT.
No.
You are not going
No
to
jumping.
space.
No jumping into
jumping.
hyperspace.
No jumping.
No.
It's like that movie
Because, like
with
you said, like that's
Anakin
crazy.
Skywalker.
So it's like even the military. But why does the military even do it? They don't mess around with this stuff.
Oh, because
So
the
that is
military
why
needs to do it,
that's
right?
crazy. No, that's
What do you
crazy.
think? Do you think the remote viewers are using something like that?
Well, wouldn't that be interesting if they came
They
up
don't
with
need
some
to.
other synthetic drug that wasn't like specifically like the street DMT drug? It was like the military grade stuff that's like.
So. I've heard
Allegedly.
that allegedly, this is all speculation, that there is a substance that they have generated that will boost your abilities to not only remote view, but to astral travel, like hardcore. Whether you're, and it is literally like just opening a door and walking into a different room, and you are in there for a set time, and then you come out.
You're like a hyperbolic chamber in your mind.
What's the substance?
Here you go.
Or is it like a technical
I don't-
thing, like a bed or something they go into, or like the Matrix
No.
thing? They get plugged in?
No, it's a shot.
Shoot.
It's got to
It's a
be
shot.
some sort of.
Whoa. Okay. That one, I have
Allegedly.
I had heard that there was some sort of gold that they could put into somebody's blood, and it would heighten psychic ability. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, because we did talk about the connection between gold and why that was all specific, but there was, I guess, psychic enhancement elements to gold as well. Now, question, check this out. Rome State Treasury. The gold reserves of the entire empire was physically inside the temple of anyone?
Saturn.
for centuries.
Just because we're doing Saturn.
Saturn was the god of hidden wealth buried in the earth. Now think about what buildings hold the wealth of nations today. What symbols are on their architecture? Is that a coincidence? The thing is that it's connected to money. Money is connected to Saturn. Saturn is connected to control. Control is connected to the occult.
What about BlackRock? The world's largest investment agency. They all have the black cube out in front of them. And those black cubes are found everywhere in the world. They're not art installations.
So there's a really amazing thing. So if you look at BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they're the three biggest organizations in the world that pretty much own all of the corporations, run all of Wall Street, make a lot of these decisions. So what is awesome is I'll send this video. I wish I have the original, but the guy was pulling back the books and looking at who actually, owns these organizations, right? Because these three don't just all own each other as evenly. There's hidden stuff, right? There's public stuff that we see on the public books, and then there's private ownership. And so when he was pulling back the private ownership, if you look at it, actually Bank of America is a huge, massive owner in these organizations, right? And if we don't know who Bank of America originally was Bank of Italy, right? And where is Italy?
Vatican.
He hit the nail on the head. I didn't have to give him the bread trail. He already knew right when I told him what country.
So the Vatican is running, and they're connected to Saturn?
They're connected to Dagon for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Ooh. Now, there's a couple of different things here about the architecture and the symbolism of modern financial institutions. The Federal Reserve, the Eccles building in Washington, D.C., it's a neoclassical temple. Massive columns, no windows on the streets. The interior is designed to project permanence, authority, inscrutability. It's architecturally indistinguishable from a Roman temple. It holds the monetary policy of most of the most powerful economy in human history. The Bank of England, founded in 1694. Its original architecture was created by architect John Soane, designed in a literal fortress with no external windows on the ground floor, a building that shows the street nothing. Inside, the gold reserves of the British Empire, and its nickname is the Old Lady of Threadneedle Street, and it sits on a site that was a Roman temple to a goddess. The Romans were there first. The U.S. Treasury Building, Greek Revival columns, neoclassical facade, sits adjacent to the White House. The architecture is explicitly borrowed from ancient temple designs. Final, the New York Federal Reserve holds more gold than Fort Knox, built to look like the Florentine Renaissance Palace, which was itself modeled on Roman architecture. It goes 5 stories underground. The gold is literally buried in the earth beneath Manhattan. Saturn's metal in Saturn's domain, in a building that looks like his temple. Sounds like some people have some very strong obsessions about Saturn.
There's a lot of Saturn stuff going on. Saturn Day.
Saturn Day. How did Saturn Day become that? But even more, does anybody know the affinity between Saturnina and Christmas? Saturnina.
This is
gifts,
wild.
Candles, feasting, social inversion, starting December 17th. Christmas, December 25th. Early Christian writers themselves documented the overlap. And what point does it run alongside it and become absorbed by it completely? So we're worshiping a form of Saturnalia. Is that what it is known as? So that's where the Christmas tree also comes from.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Interesting enough. Wow. You don't say. Now, Check this out. A practicing Freemason, J.S. Ward, wrote in a published book, Saturn is the Satan, the tempter and tester. Doesn't sound like a conspiracy theory to me. That sounds like Freemason writing about Freemasonry. Now, how much more explicit does that need to get? Freemasons are talking about Saturn. Now, I've got a question for you guys. Who knows or has heard about the Lords of Amonti?
Never.
Never? Really?
A little bit.
You have. What have you heard?
Nothing crazy. Refresh me.
He's like, I don't know anything. Tell me everything you want me to say.
A little bit, if you refresh me, because then I don't want to mix it up.
Well, it has to do with Saturns, and there's the Lords of Amonti on Saturn.
I didn't know it correlated to Saturn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like ancient Egyptian gods, ancient Sumerian gods. They're connected to this council that sits on Saturn, apparently. So Amantia is the ancient Egyptian term referring to the underworld or the realm of the dead, a place of spiritual transformation and initiation. In Egyptian mythology, it was the domain of Osiris, where souls traveled after death to be judged and undergo purification. But here's the layer that most people miss. The Egyptian word Amen literally meant hidden, and the god Amen or Amun was the hidden god or the unseen god. The word in its form and pronunciation is identical to the Amen used at the end of every prayer in the New Testament. So every time someone ends a prayer with Amen, they may be invoking the hidden realm of the Egyptian dead. And that's either a wild coincidence or it's been hidden in plain sight inside every church service in history. The Lords of Amonti, who are they? The halls of Amonti are guarded by what the esoteric traditions call the immortal masters, the 7 lords of light, or the Lords of Amonti. Beings described as anchored dimensionally in both inner earth and higher dimensional planes existing outside of linear time. Within the center of the halls of Amonti, at the flower of life, there is 7 lords, each representing divine forces affecting human destiny. Lord of Death and creator of the halls of death. Lord of liberation and life giver, Lord of magic and the word among humans, Lord of light and the way of souls, Lord of the cosmic depths, master of space and time, Lord of soul evolution and karma, and the 9th, the Father, described as a giant face creating a shaping out of shapelessness. 7 lords, 7 planetary spheres. Saturn is the 7th and outermost, the Lord of space and time. That is Saturn's domain in every tradition that has ever named him. Now, the Emerald Tablets connection of Thoth, if you've heard of this. The halls of Amonti are most vividly described in Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean. In these tablets, the halls are revealed as an interdimensional realm beneath Earth where Thoth journeys to commune with the Lords of Light and renew his life essence. This sounds a lot like Lord of the Rings with the elves. A place of divine instruction, soul rejuvenation, and spiritual testing. Oh, how many rings were given to the dwarves? 7.
7.
Yeah, to the dwarves.
Who dig in the earth looking for wealth.
Yeah. The Emerald Tablets describe the halls this way. Deep in the earth's heart lie the halls of Amonti. Far neath the islands of the sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and the halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. Atlantis, beneath the earth, immortal guardians, divine beings who descended into human bodies to free humanity from bondage. Sound familiar? This is the same narrative structure as the Watchers in First Enoch. Beings who descended, took on human form, and operated in the realm between divine and human. Now, there's more if you want to hear.
I don't know if I should tell you guys about this, but I got a wild view to something into this.
Yes, please.
It was wild. One of my sessions, right? I'm not going to go into all the details. I'll give you guys the quick version. anyways, in one of my sessions, we remote viewed the moon.
Tony, we can hear your TV in the background.
Lucas, I love. Oh, that's amazing. Let's go. So but in order to
loud ass over here telling me it's my fault. Sorry,
to view the moon, you actually had to go down. It wasn't up. It's below. And it's not lit by sunlight. It's lit by another light that glows. And it's white and gray. But every so often there would be like a village that was a collection of tombstones that had Greek writing on them, pillars, and temples. And it would be a little cluster. And then there would be, in the shadows of that stuff, there were entities that were actually the shadows. Like if there was a tombstone or a pillar or a monument that had a shadow coming off of it, when we went by it, the shadow would actually come off and come after us. And when we went by a bunch of these different temples, like little subdivisions of these different gods that were reaching really high up, trying to break through, all of a sudden we had a horde of these shadow creatures chasing us. And we had to get to this body of water. Water's above, water's below. And so we had to get to this body of water, and we had to cross this water in order to get out of this realm, in order to cross back over. And so we swim out into the water, and as you're swimming, you would get about halfway and then dive down, and you would pop up on the other. You would literally go down and then pop up on the other side, and then everything would be straight. But while we were doing that, the horde that was chasing us stopped and parted ways before I dipped down and crossed over. And there was a shadow man that walked out on the water after us. And when we went down and crossed over, he flipped over with us. And I could hear him cheering that there was one of them who finally crossed over, who looked like a man and who walked like a man. And he had crossed over into this realm. And I really believe that was like a viewing of what maybe the Antichrist would have looked like, coming over as a spirit, crossing from the lower realms into this upper one.
So when did this happen?
About 4 years ago. About 4 years ago.
Could you describe, just because we had a conversation about this a little bit about, and if you've done any more advancement in trip to Middle East?
Oh, dude.
Can you tell them about that a little bit? Can you paint them a picture? Because I found this very, very interesting.
So I wanted to check out what's going on in Iran, because I like to look at stuff and see what's going on. And like I've looked at people's houses. I've looked at, and like seen the stuff sitting on their dressers. So I like to look around. Some mornings I sit and just, I'll have a cup of coffee. It's 5 a.m. It's still, just go for a little jaunt, see what's going on. So when I went and looked at Iran, because I'm very interested in what's going on in Iran now, there's rumors of there being a real Stargate there, and not, and with all the Saturn stuff and all of the star stuff that's around, and the Anunnaki were said to be star people who came down. The Watchers were fallen stars that come down. Lucifer and all his angels were, cast out of heaven.
Yeah.
The morning star. And so there's all of this, is there a doorway to a dimension that will allow spiritual entities to enter this realm? And there's like one of the museums in Tehran has like 5 acres of basement with over 3 million different artifacts that have never been released or viewed. And it's one of the oldest museums. And like they have some pretty wild, like the few things that you can see is pretty wild. And so there is this same idea that maybe this whole invasion, this whole war is not have anything to do, with the cover story, but that they're going in and looking for these artifacts to help out with what's coming next. I mean, with all like every single host of ancient aliens is dead now. And so they're talking about this big alien disclosure, but everybody who might refute it is no longer around. Oh yeah, there it is. So in this museum, and there's all these underground tunnels. There is a city underneath Tehran. And there's buildings. If you look at the palaces, they are built, and there's no record of how they're built, but they are built, like the horse and buggy time. They say this palace is built in 3 years, and we're like, there's no way. There's just no way. The stuff that we build now with all our machines and tools and materials can't even come close to the stuff that they have built. So I went to go look at Tehran. That's what I was at. I pulled up a map. I viewed a little bit, like similar to what I did when we looked for like houses in Las Vegas when we did that.
Yeah. Stay cool with that. Yeah, we're not trying to put too much out there.
So
man, you and Tony, man, y'all just try to get people. Yeah.
Hey, put some respect on my boys' name.
Yeah, we could have just kept rolling, but no. Now you brought attention to it. So, anyways, when I looked, as soon as I got over there, I got in the air and I was gonna start looking down at it. All I saw was teeth coming at me, and it was wild. Like it's just teeth, right? And so it like startled me, and I almost spilled my coffee coming back. But when I went and looked again, I got to see what was flying around out there, and it looks like they look like, do you know those dragons that the street guys use in China during the festivals that have the big mouth and then they look like a dragon behind it? It looks like that's the closest thing I could come up. It looks like those flying around the air over there, and they're just like watchdogs, and they are just keeping. They're just keeping anybody from looking at.
They
what's
don't
going
want
on.
you guys. They don't want you guys over there. Is that what's
They
going on?
don't want anybody that who's does what we do. Anybody to look over what's happening in there and what's being seen.
Okay, wait a second. So this has to get this gets so much more deeper. Okay, so check it out.
Lucas is like, okay.
Lucas is like, what did I get
No, sorry,
myself
my contacts are kind of getting dry, so I gotta blink a little bit. They're kind of getting a little dry.
So okay, so check. This is crazy because it feels like it could be a movie. So, like, there's a crazy war going on over there, right? And obviously, people on that side, I think propaganda always says like, "Hey, these guys are stupid. They're Middle Easterns. They don't know how to handle anything. They're not. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna wipe it out. It's gonna be easy, simple, done." And then now we find out, oh, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. Right. So I think that's easy to say like, hey, the media propaganda stuff about people being kind of stupid and they don't understand. What if we're just saying this? What if we're on a whole other level? We got a bunch of remote viewers because now this is becoming way more mainstream. Like remote viewers have podcasts now and like, they're able to do super powerful things. Well, they've probably known about this for long time, right? Way before the internet, that they knew that people could do stuff like this. Who's to say that they don't have defenses against that? Like a golden dome, but now their golden dome is a bunch of like Chinese spiritual dragons that are sent over from masters of the East to keep that area secure from invasion of Western astro, infiltrators.
Well, they are working hand in hand with China. I just realized that they have been having meetings with China hand in hand, and China's been shipping stuff into them. China is also one of their major supporters, not supporters, but exporters. They buy a huge amount of oil from them. But like Trump said, hey, we're going to bomb the city. You guys have to get out. And there was a mass exodus out of Tehran. How easy would it be able to go in now with everybody out of it and loot those places and then destroy them and cover your tracks? But yeah, I just realized that China, they just got a ship, I believe, that had some nuclear parts in it that China was shipping over to Iran. I saw that. Do
you think it's possible for nations to make deals where they have spiritual protection?
What do you think's happening in the Bohemian Grove?
What's going on there in that regard?
That's what they're doing.
They're asking for spiritual protection.
That could, not only that, they're asking for guidance.
Oh, really? Of like what
What
to do?
are we
And
doing?
you think they're connecting to like the Watchers, or they're connecting to Satan, or what do you think they're truly connecting to?
So honestly, if you look at all the different names for everything, each entity or deity has like 20 names. And so it's like there's really only, like maybe 20 spiritual figures running around. I think in the Solomon's Keys, they talk, there's like maybe 72, and some are barons and some are princes. But there is more going on, because what's the most valuable commodity on this earth? Us.
Gold? Oh, people.
No, yeah. Yeah, the largest industry in the world is the modern slave trade, is human trafficking. Jesus didn't die for resources or riches.
That's right.
So we tie that back into the human sacrifices, the child sacrifices, the eating of people, and the blood rituals, and the entities who want to inhabit vessels. Like they just want to live and have peace and move on. Well, once they find a body that's willing, they'll maintain that body for centuries.
Remember we had talked about possibly them inhabiting multi-generations? Did anybody see that whole thing about like the queen and the king and the crown, and that whole thing was literally to transfer an old energy soul into the new one? And like they were talking about, like it was a meme about like Kate Middleton getting the soul of Queen Elizabeth, and like William was like, no, don't do this to her, and they're like, no, we gotta do it. I don't care. And then she becomes like his grandma becomes his wife or whatever.
Yeah. Those things jump. They jump.
It's like Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula. You ever seen that?
Oh, I loved Quantum Leap, dude. I just watched the new one a little while ago.
Quantum Leap, bro. You know, one of my favorite lines. Okay, hold on. Can you? A million points
Let's
to anybody who can give me the tagline of Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. No, I know Tony and Luke, not even close, but it's us. Oh boy. Imagine that's it. Imagine at the end of every episode. So Scott Bakula, who plays, I forgot what his name is, but he gets transferred back into different bodies. So like he becomes somebody in every different episode, and they did like an updated one. But there's this one episode I might need to find. I'm gonna find it actually, and I'm gonna show you it so I don't blow it. But give me a little bit of just talk, Ben, so I can find this quick video.
Oh, for sure. Random fact, back to the crowning of the King and Queen of England. The throne that they sit on has a stone underneath it called the Stone of Destiny. It's a big rock. That rock was supposedly the one that was it Jacob? Who became Israel? Jacob. Yeah, it was Jacob, because Jacob's ladder. It's the rock that Jacob put his head on when he saw heaven and said, this is a place. And so now the kings and queens sit on it in order to have their reign in the world verified. So there's some random
connected straight to their kundalini. All right, you ready?
Yeah, my seat is my authority. Okay, so Scott Bakula. How much he's loving this is cracking. Oh boy. Oh, I had that shirt.
I'm retarded.
Oh, I've seen this.
Oh boy.
Did he really say that? Am I retarded?
It was the 90s. It was the 90s, guys. It's the 90s. Sorry, you just need a little bit of fun there. Okay, now can we get into Seth Green, please? Mute yourself, Lucas, because your breathing is very heavy and it's making me
bad for
uncomfortable.
Ben. I don't know if I want to put him through that, honestly.
Are we only a half hour in?
No. You got disconnected.
Oh.
We're an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't want to put Ben through that.
Tony, I know you keep saying this. Stop.
I feel bad.
Do I want to look at I don't want to. Should I look at Seth? Let me do it on my private time.
Do it in your private time.
And I'll get back with you on it.
Can we do that? Can we get off the air?
He's bad. I know if he's doing some of that
don't
stuff.
tell me anything.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't tell him anything.
I've got a 5 a.m. wake up. Yeah, I've got a 5 a.m. wake up for a supply run. Got to head to the nearest town to pick up supplies tomorrow morning. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to bed. But if I get up early, as I usually do, I would be happy to. Oh, that guy? That's Seth Green?
Yes.
Didn't he do something about being like a gangster in like
look at his movies show
Hollywood or something?
No, that's Jamie Kennedy. You're thinking.
Yeah, you're thinking of that is a good movie though. Jamie Kennedy. He played in the Austin Powers. Remember the Scotty? He's like
Scotty don't.
Dude, that's
Scotty
like
don't.
That's the only role that I just love that movie. He's amazing. Other than that, terrible. Would never want nothing to do with
There's
that.
that story I was talking about. Interesting. Scotty don't.
Why do you do these to me? I'm going to have a talk with you when we get off the air.
Does it
You're
mess
gonna
with
go to
you?
bed tonight with You're going to go to bed
These
tonight
guys
with
mess you
anxiety.
up,
I told you, bro. I told Joey no, and he doesn't listen.
Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. I got things happening over here. I got things that are going to be crazy over here. So I get to ask. Okay, so calm down, relax. Okay, let's get on that.
See?
Let's talk about that. Ben's like, start a new recording. Ben got messed up. Okay, so here, look, let's talk about this a little bit because then we can wrap this on out a little bit. Now, the symbolism of Saturn, it carries throughout entire human history. Paul writes that before Christ, we were enslaved to Stoichia, the elemental spirits, and the earlier church fathers identified those specifically as the planetarian archons, including Saturn. Paul's argument is that Christ freed people from them, and I just wonder, what were those spirits doing to people? What's your opinion on this whole crazy spiritual stuff, Luke?
Like what?
Saturn's connection to this craziness?
Yeah, I think it's kind of strange.
From a 15-year-old's perspective?
I think Saturn is an interesting. I didn't even realize that I got that in the back right there. I didn't
Saturn
even
in the
realize,
back, dude. He's looking at it every night.
But the thing about it is that I think it's it's such an interesting looking planet too, because it's got the actual planet in the center, and then it's got the rings around it. I think that's something that's interesting about it. But I don't understand I don't know the connection, why it's so high in demand, or like something that's so sought after, believed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me neither, man. To be honest, I'm like, what is up with Saturn? Like, it's just everywhere. He said, look. He said, Ben just texted me, and Ben said everything just shut off. Headphones, camera, everything disconnected. Oh, yeah, dude, that's crazy. I wonder if I could call him on
Seth
FaceTime.
Green's
Let's see
energy.
if that works. Bro, they don't
mess
want
around.
him knowing, dog. They don't want to get Ben on their
already
their
knew
radar.
that it was
Ben is...
stuff was going weird today,
Look,
and then
stop. You
jump
already know it's
into the
always
deep
going to happen.
ends.
You know it's always going to happen. Stop chastising me, Tony. Wait until we're after the podcast to yell at me. He's always telling me I got to fix things, which I love. I need somebody.
Tony's the peacemaker here.
Tony is the peacemaker. We should call him John
Jesus.
Cena. That's gonna be
Jesus is the peacemaker.
Oh, there you go.
I love that. Oh, look!
Look at
They're
that.
letting him in. He came back in. Ben came
Because
back.
I was talking about Jesus. I told you.
Benny
As soon
boy.
as we talked about Jesus.
Benny boy.
Ben came back.
Benny's
So
back.
right, Tony.
Ben,
So right.
what happened, dude? You're back. Something is
They got him.
not
Everything.
wanting to play nice. They're
Dude,
trying to disconnect
yeah,
your whole
my
thing.
Everything shut off. Headphones disconnected. This is another camera. This is a different camera than before.
He had to
Your
get
third
these out,
camera.
3 cameras, dude. They do not. And doesn't his sunglasses kind of look like the hexagon on top of Saturn? Just a little. It doesn't? I'm just saying, it's a connector.
They look like the Tony Stark
no.
glasses.
They do.
They do look like Tony Stark. So, you to finish up a little bit about your trip to Tehran, were you able to give us any more kind of info that when you were there? Like, what did you? I mean, you were going there to find something, right? Were you just?
Yep, I'm going back too. I'm not done. So I almost got bit the first time we went and looked. That was all teeth in my face. The second time went back and saw, just a cloud of these things flying around in the sky. I have a feeling there's going to be probably another practitioner that I'll run into. And we'll navigate that when we get there. But I'm going to try to get down and see. I got taken to the area that I want to go look at is called the fifth quarter or something like that.
The fifth quarter district?
Or,
District 5?
The fifth district. District 5, yes. That is it. That's the space I'm supposed to go look at.
District 5 for what?
I don't know. Hey man, I'm on a ride by myself. I'm gonna go check it out and see what's going on. Should be in the northern.
Not District 15, right?
No, it's 5.
I bet you I could probably type it in and it probably would pop up, right? Oh, here's District 4. So 5's probably got to be close, right? Dude, look at their houses. It's so crazy weird, dude.
It's in the northern part. If you look at Tehran with all like the palaces and stuff like that. There you go. And then which way's north?
So I believe
it is right there. Oh, you had it.
North? Oh, is there?
Yep, you had it. Yep, zoom in. It's right where the Tehran is.
Right here?
There it is, District 5. No, back up one back. Yeah, if you back
here,
up
right
once,
here.
There you go. There's the district I'm supposed to look at.
Whoa. I don't think they have Street View. Oh, they do, actually. Check that out. They do. What the heck?
Well, they didn't when I went and looked at it.
District 5, Iran.
Yep, so we'll see it's in District 5. We're just sending off so many security AIs right now. Looking at Tehran, looking at
District 5.
They are just going.
Yeah, but little do they know we're going to publish this publicly so they can find it on our webpage. Well, that was an amazing episode today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I really think that we need to come back and maybe spread our wings a little bit more on Saturn at a later date. But I really feel like it was a genuinely interesting conversation. We're going to come back and regroup about some questions that we had. Ben, with his 3-camera night, he literally had something zap 2 cameras of his and a laptop or a desktop. So hopefully we can figure out what the heck's happening there. Is it a charged mechanism going on in the deep woods of Montana? Or is it something sinister that may be floating around like a circular dragon above our skies? Well, we'll find out next time on Ground Zero Podcast.